Today's topic is supporting your children and how to own what they are learning when they are at home. In this short video, we will share with you a resource you can use to support your child in owning their learning at home, even when they're sitting on their bed, in their pajamas, interacting with a laptop, or completing materials that were sent home. We've created a guide for you to use to do this. If you haven't already, go to our website. Click on Our Resources. Then click on Our Support for Learning at Home. And download for free the Parents and Caregivers resource under Support for Owning What They Are Learning at Home. This guide provides you with the questions to ask your child, prompts to help them stay focused on their assignments, and ways you can help them when they're struggling. Now here's my colleague, Bob CROWE, to share examples and ideas you can use to help your children continue to learn while they're at home.
Owning what you're learning means that your kids are really clear on what is the assignment. So what are they learning? How will they know that they have learned it? And why are they learning it? If they have the answer to these three questions, they're going to have a better time, an easier time, a more successful time of doing the work that the teachers are asking them to do when they're sitting at home. Your job is to help them find this information, either by asking them questions, helping them read the directions again, or even helping them craft an email to the teacher. We have created a guide that you will be able to use to help you lead this conversation. During this conversation, you want to ask them 4 questions. The first question is, what are you learning in this assignment? This could either be a concept or a skill. So for example, they might say, oh, I'm learning how to analyze text, or it could be I'm learning about the Constitution. After you've asked them, what are they learning in this assignment? You want to ask them and make sure they're clear on how will they know that they've learned what they were supposed to learn in that assignment. So you're listening for a product or something that's going to tell you that they know what it looks like when they've completed the assignment to a high degree. The third question is going to be, how does this work connect to what you were doing already in class? This helps kids see and understand that there's a connection between the work they've been doing all year and the work they're now doing at home. And the last question is having them really think about how will they use this learning when they get back to class or back to school. So the value of the learning is the fact they'll be able to use it in the future. Let's watch a conversation with the mother and her child as she helps them get focused on the work they're about to do at home.
Hey.
Hi.
What are you learning?
We're learning about how to analyze text.
Oh, what particular text?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, I loved that book. So how do you know that you've learned the skill of analyzing text?
Because we are... I don't know.
What's the assignment?
To write about characters.
Okay, and so do you think that by looking closely at the different characters, it helps you analyze the text better?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah? And so what kind of questions did she ask you?
She asked us just to pick out their age and gender, and then more significant stuff like their significance to the story.
Oh, that's cool. And how do you think this particular learning connects to what you were doing before?
We're learning how to analyze text as well, but now we're just doing it in a different way with characters.
Oh, okay, that's great. And then how do you think this learning will help you when you get back?
I think it'll help us write our essays more efficiently.
Yes, and do you think it'll help you too your sophomore year, because the skills seem to be getting harder and they expect more of you as you go?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's good. Good, thank you.
As you saw, these questions are a starting point about how to have a conversation with your children about what they are learning. You're going to understand that if they aren't clear on the answers to these questions, it could just be that they're doing work, getting it done, completing a task, but there's no learning going on. You also might figure out and might discover that your kids sometimes struggle with finding these answers. So here's a couple things you can do. At the bottom of the sheet, we offer some ways that you can help your children if they're struggling to get these answers. As we have worked with parents on this topic, we've been asked many questions. Here's some of the most common. Sometimes parents are very worried and they'll ask, well, what if I don't know the subject? You don't need to know the subject, because I want you to remember that you're not teaching the lesson. You're supporting your students to learn what the teachers have asked them to learn when they're at home. You can do this by making sure the kids are focused on what they're learning. You can do this by making sure the kids completely understand what does successful work look like. And you can also help your kids in terms of understanding why this learning is important. Some of you might ask, but I'm not a teacher. How am I supposed to teach this? Again, I want to be very clear. You're not being asked to be the teacher. You're just asked to be the support that's going to help your kids as they begin to do more and more work on their own. For some kids, this is something that they're just excited about. Way, yay, I get to do it independently. But for other kids, they're really not used to not having the teacher right there with them. The best thing you can do is just ask them questions and keep them focused on the work at hand. Parents might worry, what if I don't have the answer? There are lots of different ways to get the answer, but remember, your job is not to get the answer. Your job is to help your child find out how to get the answer. And that could entail directly asking the teacher or asking one of your children's colleagues. They can feel free to get on the phone, find out from a classmate exactly how they're approaching this lesson and what that looks like.